Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. So the Steam Halloween sale has wrapped up, but as always, there's a lot of great stuff available on Steam. We're gonna highlight some awesome deals under $5, so let's get right into it. And I want to kick things off with not necessarily a game deal, but do want to note that your first month of EA Play is down to 99 cents. This is if you have if you've never subscribed to EA Play before through Steam, you can get it for 99 cents. And if you guys don't know, Dead Space Remake just got added to EA Play, so that game is just sitting in the Vault catalog of titles, so you can play through the entirety of the Dead Space Remake. On top of that, Wild Hearts will be added later this week. You have the game trial for titles like EA Sports FC 24, if you do want to play that, Madden 23, or excuse me, Madden 24 has the trial. I get the years mixed up with these game releases. But Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is on there. No Jedi Survivor, of course, but you've got Fallen Order. And again, Dead Space Remake really going to be the alluring factor here. And Wild Hearts coming up next week. Outside of that, you've got It Takes Two, Battlefield 2042. You've got the Need for Speed games. You've got the Mass Effect trilogy. You've got Mirror's Edge 08, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of great Vault catalogs. Vault catalog has a lot of great games in it. Titanfall 2, Need for Speed Unbound, again, all the Mass Effect, Star Wars Squadrons, Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, and Dragon Age 3, all in the lineup. It's 99 cents for your first month. Just remember to cancel your subscription by the end of it. And then also, if you do want to keep it going, like $5 a month ain't bad. And then also, it's $29.99 for a year. So that works out to $2.50 a month, which is pretty decent. I mean, I don't know how many of you are going to be regularly playing EA games year-round. But if you do want to, that's a decent option as well, but at the very least, 99 cents to play through Dead Space Remake, yeah, that's an insane deal. And then on top of that, Wild Hearts later this week, Mass Effect, Need for Speed, etc., etc. Next up, we've got Castle Crashers, 80% off for $2.99. Castle Crashers is an awesome co-op beat-em-up action title with a great art style. The cartoony look might not be for everyone, but I think it's just aged really gracefully, and this is a game that you should absolutely play cooperatively. You know, when I talk about games like Borderlands, I talk about how, you know, you can play Borderlands solo. I wouldn't say the same for Castle Crashers. Like, yeah, you can play it solo, but is it going to be a good experience solo? I don't really think so, but for $3, get a couple friends to pick it up, and you can have a good time together. Just a great game, and one of those classics as far as co-op titles go. Next up, we have Cat Quest and Cat Quest 2. Really charming, simplistic RPGs. This game is the exact opposite of, like, let's say an Elden Ring or the FromSoft titles, where if you want something that's a little bit more chill, Cat Quest is a pretty good option in terms of, you know, kind of spicing up your experiences. I know a lot of you guys are into super challenging games. Cat Quest isn't that, but is it a charming game? Absolutely. And cat games these days seem to be very much in with the success of Stray and whatnot. And Cat Quest is getting a third entry, so you can be on the lookout for that sometime in the future. But Cat Quest 1 is $4.28. Cat Quest 2 is around the same price, and then you can get a bundle with both for $8.30. Next up, we have Among Us. It's down to $2.99. Don't really need to sell you on this game. I mean, it's a very, very enjoyable multiplayer title. Obviously, it's one that you should probably play with friends. You can go online and do all that stuff, but social deduction style game. I had my fun with it. Is it something that I constantly go back to? No, but if some of my boys jump into it and they're like, hey, let's have a round of Among Us, I'll be like, yeah, sure, why not? And for $2.99, not a bad price. I mean, the regular price is under $5, but seeing a little bit of a discount now. Next up, we have Far Cry 3, 75% off for $4.99. I think Far Cry 3 is awesome. It's the game that really heightened Far Cry as an IP. I know a lot of people did love Far Cry 2, but Far Cry 3 really did expand the franchise, and you see Far Cry 4, 5, and 6 really build upon the successes of Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 was an excellent game. Obviously, everybody will talk about the great antagonist, but visually, the game holds up well. Good bit of content, and for $4.99, I think it's a great price. And still to this day, it's probably my favorite game, favorite Far Cry game in the franchise, so, you know, take that for what you will. $5 is quite good. The absolute ending portion I wasn't crazy about, but there's a lot of good here, so check that out. Next up, we have Granblue Fantasy Versus, 80% off for $3.99. Now, we are getting a follow-up title to this in Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. That'll be coming out in December, but it's gonna be a $50 title, so you know, you might not want to pick that up. The Legendary Edition of the game with all the additional character sets and whatnot, 80% off for $9.99. But the base game, if you want a stylish anime fighting game with a decent single-player component as well, not a bad pickup. $3.99 for it is a great deal, in my opinion. And then also, Granblue is going to get a lot of love in the coming months. Obviously, we have Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising in December. There's an open beta that'll be kicking off at the end of next week. And Granblue Fantasy Relink finally has a release date. That'll be coming at the end of January, so excited for all of that content. Next up, we have Tomb Raider 2013, 80% off for $2.99. I mean, I am a broken record when it comes to this game. It is a fantastic single-player action-adventure game. It isn't my favorite since the reboot has come out. This is probably the weakest of the three, to be perfectly honest, but it's still very much worth playing. Rise of the Tomb Raider just does such a great job of building upon this game, but Tomb Raider 2013 is still really good. Very much on the shorter side. Like, if you rush through the single-player and don't do the optional tombs and whatnot, you can complete it fairly quickly, but $3 for it, definitely a good shout there. Next up, we have Sniper Elite 3, 87% off for $3.89. Tactical, third-person shooter. I'm kind of surprised that Sniper Elite hasn't been more popular than, you know, what it amounted to be, but, I mean, when you have as many entries as Sniper Elite does, obviously there's a healthy audience of people that do really enjoy these games, but if you're into action stealth titles, Sniper Elite 3 is worthwhile to check out. Like, the full price point for these games I don't think is worth it, but this is $3.89, which I think is quite good. Next up, Deus Ex. Gotta give some love to Deus Ex. Human Revolution Director's Cut is 85% off for $2.99, while Mankind Divided is 85% off for $4.49. Both games are excellent. Director's Cut is a fantastic game. Human Revolution, that is, in my opinion, the stronger game. Just has the stronger storytelling, and the gameplay is great. Obviously, a great main character. Mankind Divided, I think, is good. I think it builds upon some of the successes of Human Revolution. Unfortunately, fumbles a little bit when it comes to the storytelling, which is really unfortunate given that this is a super narrative-driven franchise. But still, $4.49 for it is quite good. You can get the Digital Deluxe for $6.73, which I think is fairly decent as well. Next up, we have Psychonauts, 68% off for $3.19, a throwback platformer that had a really strong cult following for a long time. Ultimately led to the game getting a full-on sequel in Psychonauts 2, which is great, but still, you know, goes for $15 or so, but Psychonauts 1 for $3.19 is an excellent pickup if you want a throwback platformer. Obviously, an easy one to recommend. And then lastly, we have Guacamelee 2, which is 75% off for $4.99. This is one of the Metroidvanias that I constantly go to bat for. Unfortunately, and I've said this before, the Metroidvania market is filled with so much competition that even if you deliver a quality game like Guacamelee, that I think is a really well-designed game, has a lot of charm, has humor, and stylistically, just really, really well done. It can be as good as this is, but there's so much competition that Guacamelee, unfortunately, just didn't resonate at that level. But I still think it's a worthwhile game to go through. If you like the aesthetic, if you like the presentation, certainly check it out, especially at this price point of $4.99. You know, hopefully they do another Guacamelee title at some point. There's also the Guacamelee 2 Complete. That is $10.08, and that'll give you some bonus content and the soundtrack, which isn't necessary, but if you do want to check that out, feel free to grab that as well. But that's going to do it for me. Again, Steam's been running a lot of great sales with the Halloween sale that just wrapped up. There was a ton of great stuff that wasn't, you know, some of that stuff wasn't even applicable to Halloween. Like EA put their entire catalog on sale, but even if you don't pick anything up now, remember, there's going to be a lot of great stuff coming out. Autumn sale right around the corner. You've got the winter sale that's going to be kicking off in mid-December. That's going to be a gargantuan sale. And other e-tailers always have good stuff running year-round, to be perfectly honest. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.